It looks like Candace Owens must have been right about Jared Kushner, because now that they've established this so-called Gaza peace deal, which isn't really a peace deal, we gone over that. Now we're starting to see what's really going to happen with that land. Now, see, if you follow the Canary, they reported this. Gaza to become a tax-free billionaire haven, according to Jared Kushner and Zio billionaires. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into this here. Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, along with Epstein-linked Palantir boss Peter Thiel and pro-Israel Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison, plan to turn Gaza into a haven for billionaires. They plan to do so with a city of tax-free startups, with scattered server farms for cloud processing and artificial intelligence. That will supplement factories with cheap labor, and simple regulations will also smooth the way for normalization with Saudi Arabia. Let's come out here for just a second. This is what Candace Owens was talking about. So you see, and I'm going to show you the plans. This whole like Gaza, like peace plan, this just basically is paving the way to create this billionaire tax haven in Gaza. Jared Kushner, Larry Ellison, and Peter Thiel, they're all in on this together along with Donald Trump. Let's go on a little bit more here. Here we go. The article, which interestingly enough, does not seem to appear on the site's English search version. No, it doesn't. I noticed that the original article this came from. The huge economic project of rebuilding Gaza after the war is already attracting interest from countries, billionaires, and former leaders, and from Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who aspires to establish AI centers in the Strip. This is crazy, guys. To foreign investors looking for enabling regulation. You hear this? More colonization, guys. Experts predict the development initiatives could serve as leverage to promote normalization with Saudi Arabia, also through Kushner's involvement. But the road there is still fraught with political and security obstacles. It notes that Ellison is ready to put down $350 million into the plan, which is in line with Trump's notorious and unlawful Gaza Riviera ethnic cleansing plan and fascist Israeli minister's Gaza real estate bonanza. That is Jared Kushner. They're all in on it. And then I'm going to show you the actual plans, because this is what they've been pushing for, folks.
What if I told you Gaza already has a business plan, not for peace, not for rebuilding lives, but for luxury resorts, AI tech hubs, and billion-dollar highways? I don't usually touch the Israel-Palestine debate in short form. It's too complex for 90 seconds. I save it for the podcast. But yesterday, I posted one simple fact. Most of the world supports the Palestinian people, while Israel spends hundreds of millions on propaganda to cover that up. And like clockwork, outpoured the uninformed hot takes. So let's throw one more truth into the mix. Last week, Netanyahu was in town with Trump. They unveiled a 20-point plan to end the war, built by Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, and billionaire Steve Witkoff, Trump's special envoy to the Middle East and his partner in a crypto company, by the way. The plan? Keep the IDF in Gaza while a board of peace, led by Trump and overseen by none other than Tony Blair, the globalist who gave us the Iraq war, while he manages the transition. No ceasefire, no two-state solution. It's not a peace plan. It's a takeover plan.
See? And that's why, oh, by the way, the other reason why they need Hamas to disarm is because They want to be able to feel safe coming over into that land to enjoy what they have built. That's the other reason why they want Hamas to be disarmed. And let me tell you something else. For those of us who are familiar with rebuilding, look, you can look at the history here in the United States of urban renewal when city officials made promises to different Black communities that we are going to rebuild the projects. We have this urban renewal plan and it's going to be all pretty and nice for you to live in. But what they leave out is that while this rebuilding is happening, you can't live there. You are pushed somewhere else. The idea is that once it's all done, you'll be able to come back. But a lot of people, particularly in the US, were not able to come back after that happened. Same thing's going to happen here in Gaza. In order for them to build this Gaza Riviera that they want to happen, and a lot of billionaire money is coming in, folks, in order for them to build this, the Palestinian people aren't going to be able to stay there. Not all of them aren't going to be able to stay there while they do this rebuilding. It also means that I would not be surprised if they knock down the remaining buildings that are already there. So you see what I'm saying? So what they're going to do is have to temporarily displace them. And they'll say, you'll be able to come back once it's all rebuilt. Only they won't be able to come back for two reasons. One, Israel is not going to let them come back in. The other one is they won't be able to afford to come back because once it's rebuilt and it's redeveloped, it is going to be at a rate that the average person, especially Palestinian people, a lot of them are unemployed. We talked about this before October 7th. They're not going to be able to afford to come back there to live anyway. That's the next phase of displacement. So you see, that's what we knew from the start when Israel said they're going to come in. They wanted to wipe it all out and say to flatten it. This been a project. This project didn't come out of nowhere. I do not believe this project was created all of a sudden after October 7th. No. This project has been in the works for quite some time. I'm willing to bet on it. Let's continue here a little bit.
Because what they didn't show you was the actual blueprint for New Gaza, also drafted by Kushner and Witkoff, and backed by Saudi Arabia and the UAE under a shiny new name, the Great Trust. Gaza reconstruction, economic acceleration, and transformation. It's all in the slides. Gaza, Trump, Riviera and Islands, waterfront luxury condos and hotels,
Yep.
Elon Musk Smart Manufacturing Zone, MBS and MBZ Central Highway, named after Saudi and Emirati rulers, and the American Data Safe Haven. Who wants to bet Larry Ellison gets this plot? And a nice little section for unexploded bomb clearance. Number one, this whole protect against the Muslim shtick, it's getting old. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are deep in this deal. Number two, how's Jared Kushner, who already took $3.2 billion from Middle Eastern sovereign funds, how is he in charge of both the official Israeli peace deal and the business deal to profit from it? And finally, why is it always normal for billionaires to kick people out of their homes so they can gentrify the land and call it stability? Their own documents say they want to turn Gaza into a $320 billion asset within 10 years. This is not charity. It's not peace. It's the same boys club running the same money play with human lives as collateral, apparently for your safety. Seriously? Does this look like a peace deal?
No, it's not. And see, this is a lot of people have been duped. And I was many of us, but I was one of the ones that came forward and said there was no ceasefire. Like people were lying to you about that. Here's that plan that he's referring to, the Great Trust. So you guys see the picture. This is what they want to make Gaza. They want to turn it into this. And this is supposed to be this great place, for billionaires to come through. And again, like they said, a tax haven so that they can just come there. See all this? Gaza reconstruction. This is what I was saying. You think they're going to let the Palestinian people enjoy all of this? This is also why that one of the reasons why that peace deal also did not include, FYI, also did not include a Palestinian state. That's another reason why I didn't include that. Now, check this out. If you look at this map, it says a thriving Gaza at the crossroads of a new Abrahamic architecture. Gaza is an Iranian outpost in a moderate part of the region that will threaten IMEC, Abrahamic architecture, and undermine any future Palestinian governance. So that was the risk, the opportunity. See, this is what this is all about. Gaza is a regional trade hub at the crossroads of the ancient sea route Egypt, Gaza, Babylon, and the incense trade route India, Yemen, Arabia to Europe. So you see how they got the lines drawn here where Gaza's right there and yada yada. Now they're talking about trade. I wanted to show you something else here. The IMC's bridge to the Mediterranean. This is Gaza 2035. So you see, they already got a plan. And like I told you, this did not, I don't believe this was decided after October 7th. This to me looks like something that was planned a long time ago. And as you see, it says right here in red, Elon Musk smart manufacturing zone. So the red dots here, that's supposed to be Elon Musk smart manufacturing zone. They've been planning this. Smart cities design. Sound familiar? Don't you hear them talking about smart cities here? So you see everything, and it's all, this is displacement, gentrification all over again. That's what you're seeing, folks. I do not believe they're going to let the Palestinian people stay here to enjoy that. What we got, again, wasn't a peace deal. It was just basically a delay because they plan to have this done apparently in 2035. Land trust and tokenization. I can put this link in the chat for you guys so you can see. I mean, it's all about money. And again, it goes back to the billionaires. Now let's show you just a reminder what Candace said, because she gave a warning about Jared Kushner and them a couple of days ago. Listen to this.
85% of Gaza has been destroyed in this pre-planned, controlled demolition of Gaza. Bibi Netanyahu is on camera explicitly before October 7th saying we need to hit them so hard that they can't come back. Jared Kushner is involved in, he will financially benefit from whatever they build in its place. Again, all of this began before October 7th.
There it is. So everybody see? Now let's connect the dots, ladies and gents. Before October 7th, remember what we said, that it was reported that the IDF decided to stand down on October 7th. Remember it was reported? And people were like, well, why would they do that? It was also reported by the New York Times, of all outlets, that Israel knew about Hamas's planned attack a year and a half prior to the attack. They had already received intel about the plans, but decided not to take it seriously. This is the same state that decides to shoot a dog because they said the dog is Hamas. But you're not going to take an escape plan seriously? Really? And the IDF stood down on October 7th. That was also reported by multiple outlets. Then you see this project here with Trump, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Jared Kushner, who's been a part of this from the get-go. Now you see what they want to build and what they want to develop. So let's just make a connection. What if Benjamin Netanyahu and all of them already knew about what Trump wanted to do with businesses in Gaza? And what if that is part of the reason why they stood down on October 7th? And then, of course, were able to use it as an excuse to flatten Gaza. That was something that Charlie Kirk also questioned on podcast. I think it was PBD podcast where he said, why did they stand down on October 7th? It almost seems like this is all planned. Let's continue.
Right? So we are supposed to believe that this isn't just, well, business as usual. We got done what we needed to get done, and now we can begin phase 2. But we're supposed to thank them. We're supposed to thank the monsters that did this. You guys have it in your heart to say thank you? Thank you to Jared Kushner and Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, who are just business partners playing a role, convinced that we're all so stupid. I mean, let's roll the clip back from Jared Kushner when he sat down at Harvard, Assad operation, to speak about their aims. This is February 15th, 2024. Take a listen.
There are real fears on the part of Arabs, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of them, who think once Gazans leave Gaza, Netanyahu's never going to let them back in.
Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. So
maybe.
If you think about even the construct, like, Gaza was not really a historical precedent, right? It was the result of a war, right? You had tribes that were in different places, but then Gaza became a thing. Egypt, used to run it. And then, over time, you had different governments that came in different ways. So you have another war, usually when wars happen, borders are changed historically over time. And so my sense is I would say, how do we deal with the terror threat that is there so that it cannot be a threat to Israel or to Egypt, right? I think that both sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclaved right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards.
Everybody heard that? So there you go. It's right out there in the open for you. And another thing I want to say about this critique that this critique that Jared Kushner has about what Hamas decided to do with that money, which was given by Netanyahu. Yes, Netanyahu did fund Hamas. When you kick people off their land and then you fence them in and you occupy them and you give them money, you don't get to decide how they spend it. Period. But this is the plan, guys. They didn't decide to build this Gaza Riviera after October 7th. That shit was planned years ago. Let's continue on.
And Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize, by the way, for the planned ethnic cleansing so that they could profit on the land and turn it into a beach town. So let me say this. This is our never again, okay? This is a Holocaust. A Holocaust just happened. A real Holocaust just happened. And we will never forget this. You need to tell your children what happened in Gaza. You need to tell them exactly who did it, exactly whose families were involved in this. And when you hear in the future somebody tell you, like, we're going to Gaza Beach for a vacation, you need to look at them like they are the absolute vermin of our society, because they are. They are. Their children will be cursed, okay? If you go and you play in the sand where you know that your forefathers planned to mass murder children, you will be cursed. Every person who steps foot on that, every family that is set to inherit what they did, they will be cursed. Your children's children will be cursed. Gaza belongs to nobody but the Palestinians. So when you begin to move the Israelis in there, and when the Trump hotel gets built on there, I caution the rest of the world to stay far away from that cursed land, because something is coming. You can't commit that much evil in broad daylight and not think it's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah, Measure Man said this is so heartbreaking. Yeah, it is. And the sad thing is, that part what she said there, about that being cursed land, etc., Democrats should have had that same response. It's disgusting. You guys know how I feel about gentrification. You know how I feel about people being displaced. That is one of my big, like, moments. Too many people have been displaced, have had their homes taken from them. And that's what this is. And that's why they rushed this so-called peace deal, which isn't really a peace deal, so they can get started on the next phase. And they need Hamas out the way so that they can do that. They can't have any type of resistance so that they can go ahead and do this. So I didn't know as much about Jared Kushner, but maybe I need to start asking the right question around that as well. He's kind of like waited in the background a little bit, but it seems that Candace definitely knew some things about him. These are evil people. Like I just don't understand how people can sit up there and say that they love God and you do such evil. I don't know. I don't understand that at all. This is sad. It is sick. It's disgusting, but it looks like she was right about Jared Kushner. And here we are. And by the way, the outlet that reported that canary, they were talking about that from another outlet where that article in particular was written in Hebrew, as you'll see here. This is where the original source is written in Hebrew. You can translate it to English. But what did I tell you when we see that, right? That means that message is for the Israelis, not for us. Let's look at that poll. All righty, what we got here? What will happen to Gaza? We have 3,434 votes. Israel will steal it, 25%. Trump and Kushner will steal it, 11%. The U.S. and Israel will steal it, 49%. And Gaza will become a state, 15%. And then, I don't know. I can only do 4 options, but I also wanted to have an option that said, like, this will not happen or the land will not be taken. But you can only do like 4 options, which sucks, but yeah, those are interesting results there, ladies and gents. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.